get into it. Hee hee. Banana Kick, by the way, is a Nongshim snack. And so it has even deeper meaning here in Korea. I don't know whether you can get them elsewhere in the world. I know Nongshim does. Like, I went to a random, like, we drove to the Grampians, which is a long way away from Melbourne, and there was a small, like, corner store, and they had Shin Ramyun there.
There you go.
It was the best.
Universal.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very cool. Anyway, that's just for Australians to get, I guess, and maybe only ones that live in Victoria. It's a niche market, but we'll still manage to try and satisfy as many people as we can. The Talia and the Vi both taken away here by Nongshim. As the PV.
I have some great news.
What's that?
They can't first pick one again.
Wow, you're right. That is without fear.
Opting not to ban the Rakan this time around, and instead banning away the Ornn.
It's first pick Rumble time, baby.
Yeah, you know, we've seen a lot of Ornn into Sion. Is that something they want to prioritize? I mean, it could be the Rumble as well. We'll see. Haven't seen a look at the Azir, though, which was banned by HLE last time. And they banned the Poppy instead, so Azir available.
I think they should pick that.
Yeah, I think something that would often be highly prioritized here. That being said, wouldn't put it past Zeka to pick Yone, as he is very known to do. So...
Oh god, yeah. Imagine if they just ran into like a immediate Sejuani Yone situation.
Yeah,
I think Calyx is still going to do it, though. The bird has to be prioritized. Champion is very good.
Yep, I think it's one of those situations you can have to. This could just end up being like... I mean, I don't think you need to pick Rumble Yone here, but Rumble Yone topside would be really good. They take the Rumble, the Aurora's already off the cards.
Rumble Sejuani. I mean, you can't deny the Yone after that. Like, if they do want to play it. Peanut is very, very good at the champion. Can also just play Tree, if you'd like to be Tree.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Rumble Sejuani looking pretty good from this angle.
Peanut. And it's setting up that Yone on 3. Now the question is, do you just take Trundle in return? Yes, that is the answer immediately. And what do you take in the top lane into the Rumble?
They could Sion.
They
something.
Could.
I mean,
Galio
Trundle really good into Sejuani.
Yeah, Galio was a thing for a while into the Rumble as well.
Yep.
Could also see Kingen just going for a pick that may not necessarily have the greatest matchup, but just he feels comfortable on.
This Trundle angle is really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of value. And I feel like this is kind of very signature of Peanut. I feel like a lot of other players might have just gone towards a Bruiser jungle. They actually opt to go and leave the top lane pick and pick up Sivir for Trigger here. And it looks like HLE may not lean on...
I mean, it's...
Oh, they will, yeah. Okay, well, that was pretty telegraphed.
Yeah.
And now, bot lane picks. So, 80 carry already secured for Nongshim. Do HLE put bans towards top lane? Are they worried specifically about like the Galio coming out? Is there other picks you think Kingen might lean towards? Are you worried about the Sion?
It might just be bot lane bans. Like Nautilus, I assume, is probably going to be the ban here, just because they often just ban it into Lehens.
Yeah, which they did last time.
The Cassante.
Cassante is something that can maybe deal with a lot of these melee threats and peel away. This definitely feels like we've seen the Sivir Azir a lot. This definitely feels like more of an engaged composition from HLE, and Nongshim are playing kite back and defense. Alistair ban comes out, makes a lot of sense. Possibly going to be the Rakan as the second ban, if you're just trying to limit what the light can do, because it just feels like the goal is get on the back line and smoosh them.
Yeah, I do feel like Rakan would be very powerful here. Be a pretty good pick. The Nautilus, though, is going to be the ban. As we said, often it is the tax you pay up against Lehens. So will it just be the Rakan? I imagine that they probably will just take away the Rakan. See what Delight does want to do after that.
Like, he still has engage options, but I think that one's just the most punishing, especially combined with the Yone. The fact he is the snap engage you can follow up on, or you can lead the charge with such reliable engage.
Yeah.
They will take that away from him, so I think it makes a lot of sense. In terms of options for Viper, I feel like...
I like Kai'Sa.
Could go Kai'Sa here. Could also go Jin and just follow up from a distance with that ult. Jin been doing really well recently.
I feel like you can't answer wave clear very well, but I guess Kai'Sa is a similar situation. And the Sivir is kind of unanswerable. But there is the Kai'Sa option. Would be a lot more front foot, you know, a lot more aggressive. That is what Viper is going to lock away here. Still up in the air as to what Delight is going to be playing into this Sivir X bottom lane.
Yeah, could go like the Leona, could go the Nico. Has those options available. Looks like Nongshim going to take the Nico, which I think is pretty heads up, because if you're thinking going to take the Leona, if you're thinking they're going to take the Nico,
yeah,
you can take the Leona into it. We've talked before about how the Zenith Blade obviously goes through.
Whoa! That's Silas top. That's Kingin's cooking again. Kingin's cooking again. And he's got some pretty fun ultimates, obviously, in, Glacial Prison and Equalizer are both very, very good if you're going against the 2v2 on the top side of the map. But Fate Sealed is also pretty good coming out of Zeka. So let's see what the answer is going to be here from Delight.
And if you go Nico here, it's such a good ult for Silas as well.
Yeah. And the Big Bad Brad. Yeah, Tempered Fate is a harder one to utilize effectively.
I wonder if that was a factor in the decision in the end that came through to go Bard instead off the Nico. Maybe didn't want to give over that ult. Also the Leona matchup, but either way. So a lot of engage, very on theme composition for HLE, dive the backline and look for that. Nongshim, much more about kite back peel and play around those 2 late game carries and see if you can keep Calyx and Trigger alive and they can deal that DPS. Interested to see what King can do in this top lane matchup with the Silas into the Rumble.
Yeah, I feel like that doesn't sound like the most fun matchup.
Sounds like you'll get roasted and toasted a bit, but maybe when you get some levels into your W, you can kind of sustain final lane angles.
You do have that Kingslayer that can bail you out of some of the situations, but we'll see what Zeus is going to be able to do. I believe Zeus has actually played a couple of games of the top lane Silas as well, as of course the man has been a known chef on the top side of the map also. But Kingin is always the guy. He is just always the guy that plays the weird stuff, and we know sometimes it works, and sometimes it's Diana.
Diana into Gwen, the old classic, and how that happened and existed and was a thing.
Kingin demonstrated that there is the other side of the counterpick. And that is the self-counterpick.
Yes.
And it's not so great. We'll see whether this is going to be an example of that or something else entirely, as he has picked up the Silas. It's a pretty good angle. We'll have to see how it does play out as we get onto the Rift here for game number 2. Nongshim looking to bounce back. So the cool thing about Nongshim's comp is that they basically have a build your own Sejuani, where Trundle goes up, becomes tanky instead of the Sejuani, and then Silas goes up and takes her ultimate away.
Yep.
Well, like, doesn't take it away, obviously, but, gets one of their own. And so they will have the same amount of, utility, I guess.
Yep.
As we are playing some cello. It's not cello, it's a different instrument that I don't know the name of. I liked it when it was Yasuo and he just played the flute, and I knew what a flute was.
It was good vibes.
Yeah, I don't know the name of that instrument.
I'm not here to bail it out.
Yeah, no, I apologize. I'm sure someone in chat will be able to tell me what the name of the instrument is.
Do you have the spellbook Sejuani coming through? Obviously, you don't want to take Aftershock into Trundle and get punished even more by the Subjugate.
Yep.
Double spellbook versus no spellbook? Oh man, HLE going to be rotating those summoners like crazy.
Man, Peanut could go into a Smite fight without Smite. That would be cool. That sounds like something Peanut would be.
That sounds like such a Peanut move.
Yep.
You remember the Elder moment against Quandong Freaks?
I beg your pardon?
The Elder moment when he was against Quandong Freaks.
Oh,
he dashed out the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
That was.
But you were very upset for an extended period of time after that. I remember.
It was very funny looking back on it though.
It was. It was a weird situation. As Viper is going to get aggressed on. There's a flash forward from Trigger. Okay. Taking the last game pretty seriously, I guess. Zeka also taking a lot of damage here. Certainly do in the early stages of this matchup, but this is an aggressive start for Nongshim.
Yeah, it ends up being a bad trade in terms of summoners for Nongshim, but a good trade in terms of lane pressure. And so Trigger flashed forwards because he knew they have the advantage in terms of the trade. He knew he can force Viper out of lane. It does mean, again, down in summoners, but...
Yone's instrument, by the way, according to one guy in chat, is called an Erhu.
Oh.
So if that's wrong, it is... where is it? It's Key Rail. Key Rail's it's what they told me.
If we'd sat here the next 7 hours, we'd never would have got that.
No, absolutely not. I could have racked my brain as much as possible, but sometimes it's just not in it.
Yeah, it's not in there.
No matter how hard you rack. All right, Lehens looks for a bit of a cheeky Zenith blade. It could have been a funny one if he had have traveled all the way back with the Yone. Doesn't do so. As the Winter's Wrath is going to be utilized, Arctic Assault, to get Peanut out of there, but he is out of there without any health. So HLE on the back foot in this early game, although they have gold leads across the board. So take it away, Orcs.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I just like the early pressure Nongshim are coming out with, right? They fell so far behind in the previous game. Kingan's finding opportunities to challenge and move forwards. Lehens roaming mid. We saw the early bot lane trade in 2v2 to give an advantage and put Viper behind. Again, gold lead is a favor, but it's minor. And I just feel like Nongshim are trying to get off the ground running.
Yep.
This one.
We also have a technicality by someone else in chat saying, lore-wise, it's actually an unnamed, thus far, Ionian instrument.
That resembles
an Urhu.
Okay.
That's we can take both answers as correct, but that would have been a good one for us because it requires zero actual knowledge of anything, and you can just get away with the technicality.
Yeah, it's important if you end up in like a pub quiz situation.
Yeah, exactly. You can probably argue that one pretty effectively.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get the best answers from chat. Thank you guys. Appreciate you a lot. As we're getting a bit of a zoom in, hoping that Urhu comes out again, but we do not get another look in. And we've got a bit of a back coming through from Trigger. Calyx teleported back to his lane. And things have sort of rotated back into Nongshim's favor. But this is the problem, man. Every time Zeka plays Yone, you're like, melee versus range matchup. This is going to be difficult early, and then he's going to get better later. It's even. Yeah. Everything's even.
He's fine. And you just know there's going to be a team fight at some point where he hits a monster ult.
Yep.
And it's going to spell a bad time for Nongshim.
He's going to collect them all together, and Zeus is going to light them all on fire, and it's just going to be barbecued noodles, and it'll be delicious, but also really not good.
But Nongshim, it's up to you to stop that from happening. Trying to have faith, trying to have belief, you know? They do go for the swap, so we're going to have to put pressure on Zeus right now. Do the TP from King on the bot side. He will go 1v1 against Viper.
An interesting matchup. Yeah, Zeka is not quite able to get these minions. And Calyx is doing a decent job putting the pressure on as best he can. Just catching waves under turrets. HLE biding their time as Zeka dashing forward. Does find a lot of damage here, but also takes a lot back. Delight comes on over. Going to help him out. And I think he's going to enjoy the hot cocoa.
Yone is so annoying. I feel like this champion is so irritating playing to. And, you know, Calyx is like, well, I had to dash into him for the shield and the extra damage in the trade, but it just doesn't feel right, you know? Playing a ranged champion, you're like, the correct play is to dash.
I think if, like, it didn't do any damage as you rebound the soul, it would still be obnoxious. But the fact that you do that little last hit, it just feels kind of terrible. It's okay, we're going to go again. Emperor's Divide, and over to you.
Try to do like a scoop and chomp, you know?
Aha, the scoop and chomp.
Yeah, that's a little new.
I didn't catch that. I didn't know. That's why you're the analyst.
Yeah, they were
trying
to
spot the scoop and chomp.
New little strategy they're going for. Didn't quite work out.
So wait, basically what we're watching it like you know when you got grapes and you throw them into your mate's mouth on the other side of the room.
Yes,
that's what they were trying to do.
Yes,
but they missed, and so instead it was just throwing grapes across the room.
Trundle's mouth isn't big.
All right, there's a flash out, but the flash to follow immediately is Calyx. Not going to quite get finished off here by Zeka, but still, that's putting a fair bit of fear in him.
That was single digit health right there. So Calyx very close to surviving. But does manage to keep himself alive, fortunately. Zeka nearly getting the angle there, getting in there to save. And, you know, despite the fact the scoop and chomp didn't work, his jungler does back him up, does keep him alive, so...
It works out in the end. Because it was like, even an attempted scoop and chomp is still impressive.
Yeah, and then whereas all Yone has to do is just dash forward, press all these buttons, and then kill you.
There's no scoop or chomp when he does it.
Yeah, just a lot more sword play.
Yeah. And all fate-based anyway. And if it is fate, then he hasn't actually done anything impressive anyway, because it was just going to happen anyway.
Yeah, or not happen, apparently, because Calyx survived.
Yeah.
Which, it makes me wonder, why was Calyx even nervous on a single-digit HP, because it was fated.
It was fated anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Which is, you know, why Destiny is boring. You know? Because if it is, then it's all just going to happen anyway. there's no choice. All right. Speaking of choices, this is a choice of Lehens. I'm going to come on over and step on some of these Cocos that have been left around here by Delight. As Viper going aggressive against Trigger. He's going to try and push him away. Meep Slap going to get blocked as the Cosmic Binding does connect. Oh, nicely done. And he uses Barrier to deny the damage on the Void Seeker. I
feel like Barrier usage has become so liberal.
Yeah, I feel like everyone just presses the button. I don't even know whether I'm worried about it or what. As, all right, first grab going to be taking the flash forward from Delight. The flash out from Trigger is so awkward. Emperor's Divide hits the air. I hope that's what he was aiming for, as Zekka is now just going to get crushed here. Trigger follows him and grabs that kill. That's first blood as Peanut takes the magical journey to follow. Delight flashes into the red pit and does get himself away. But man, that was weird on every angle.
You know, a little bit messy, a little bit all over the place, but Nongshim have a kill, and they're ahead in kills and gold compared to HLE. And that's a lot better than last game, so, you know, I think they'll take it.
Yeah, I think fighting without Viper may have been part of the mistake. That's all I got. Unless he was there, we just didn't really see him do very much. And it was just Zekka being turned on before much of anything could have really happened. I don't think he got an opportunity to even get his ult off. A Solar Flare is celebratory put down in this lane. Peanut moving in, Killer Instinct on top of Trigger. Viper gets the cleanse, flashes to pick up the kill onto the Sivir. Permafrost to lock down Lehens. It's a double here for Viper. And at least this game, Nongshim had a couple of minutes of feeling good before HLE decided to destroy them, as that Cosmic Binding is going to go wide. Gideon moving underneath this turret. There's a jump, but they don't have the scoop as the feats of warfare come in. There's the knock-up from Zekka as Calyx taking a bit of damage.
All I can think after this is that honestly, genuinely, Chronicle will tell you caster curses aren't real.
Yeah.
He will see situations like this. He'll be on this space right now, and he will tell you, no, that's not a caster curse. That's HLE rebounding. But we saw this play happen. You know, Nongshim doing a good job of sticking as a unit, focusing the targets, the value of like the Trundle and Leona locking them down. I praised them. I said nice things, and then they immediately do this. And Chronicle will say, no. Caster curses aren't real. Okay.
And just
whatever.
Sometimes you don't find the play.
Yeah.
You know?
They were looking for something, and one day maybe they will find it, but not today.
No. And not here in this lane. So all right, we've got another little bit of an engagement here as Lehens is in the river and is no longer in the river. Because he's dead.
Viper's getting pretty fed.
He is.
Yeah.
Zekka also, because he managed to get that kill, is feeling a little bit better. Because Calyx is gone with a fair bit of the money after that initial play. Yeah, so Trigger got first blood and it was looking kind of good. And then Viper is on a killing spree. And
Delight is just in melee range of Trigger. I thought we'd seen the limit of the aggression with the Braum. No.
It's just B-named champions, man. Delight just feels good when he's on them.
That's where they turn to beeline for someone.
Yeah,
right?
There we go.
He's beelining for Trigger because he's playing Bard.
Yep, it's the Brad-lining.
Yes, it all makes sense.
Yeah. I'm glad that we're getting to the bottom of a lot of things.
I'm learning so much.
Yeah. Instruments, you know, like is it a Nohu, isn't it a Nohu? You just never know. Although it is maybe just an Ionian instrument resembling one.
Which is as close as you really need to get.
Yeah, probably the closest you're ever going to get, really, because otherwise we won't be able to name anything in the Runeterra universe, because maybe they have a different name for a table, for example. You know, it's not a table, I'm sorry, it's the Ionian representation of something that holds your dinner at night. We haven't called it a table yet. It might be called a Blanc.
Honestly, that's probably a better name. I think we should have stuck with that.
Yeah, maybe Blanc was a step too far. It sounds too good.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to rename this table to a Blanc.
Honestly,
maybe we're not at the caster desk anymore. We're at the caster Blanc.
Caster Blanc? Yeah.
Whoa.
It sounds
kind of fancy, doesn't it?
So nice. Oh, we've peaked, honestly.
I really do like being here on the caster Blanc with the Orcs.
I feel like, you know, we call things because they've been called that already.
Yeah.
But have we ever thought, could they be called something better?
Exactly. We need to expand our minds And then we get gifted with things like this, like Cloud Souls. It's beautiful. It's perfect.
You always know you're on the right train of mind when a Cloud Soul comes up.
Exactly.
It's just factual proof.
Glacial Prison doesn't do a whole lot of anything. Maybe it's luring them into a false sense of security, though, as Zeka rebinds the soul very quickly. It's Delight meep slapping, having a good time, but otherwise not too much else is going to happen. As Trigger did press the On the Hunt button.
I do like when the On the Hunt is used and they all just kind of stand around.
But also, wasn't the Drake was just taken. Oh, Solar Flare is going to come through. Delight might just be dead, and he is. So there it is. Sometimes sticking around in a place that you don't necessarily need to be for a really long time pays off. And maybe it's going to continue to do so, or maybe they're going to get punished as the ulti comes through from Zeka. He rebinds the soul, though. The health bars are low. But Gideon with that subjugate, he's very tanky. If he presses that button onto Peanut, they're not going to be able to finish off anyone. Still, they do stop the pressure.
Yeah, Calyx a little scary in the area with that ult, so won't step any further. But, you know, it seems a buyback from Nongshim. It's not a huge lead as of right now. Still within arm's distance, but Gideon, you are on a ward. That was a good pillar. But Peanut will be taking your red buff.
Yes, he will. No subjugate means that no real advantage here for the Trundle. And Emperor's Divide is going to throw Delight away, but he still manages to land it. Tempered Fate comes in, denies the Winter's Wrath damage, but Zeka just wants to come through, grabs that Q to take him down, and somehow it's in fact Viper that gets the kill, who just pressed R and said, "No, I'll have that."
That's pretty stylish from Delight, honestly. Calyx, a little bit late with a flash, gets stunned anyway, and served up on a platter to the rest of the team. And HLE going to take this tower in the bot side as well. Will deliver them feats of strength. Yeah, starting to feel a little bit more significant now. We'll see a replay of that one. Calyx thinks he has caught Delight, but no, it is he who was caught.
Cosmic Binding is kind of broken with the fact that if it ever tags you, no matter where you go, you're still going to get stunned if that wall was there initially.
Yeah. Honestly, he should have asked the wall to flash for him.
Yes, that's what he really needed. Because honestly, if the wall flashed away, then he wouldn't have been stunned.
That also would have really confused Delight.
I would have been really confused as well. All right, I think we've seen this play before, but this time Zeka doesn't have the backup. He does unbind the soul. What goes out must come back, and he is just dead. Yeah. 7 seconds until the ulti was back, but I don't think that would have saved him either. And now Nongshim able to take down this outer turret on the bottom side of the map as well. HLE had already locked down the feats of strength, so that first turret blood going down for them on the top side had already happened. Still, pulling some gold back in the lead, only 1.5 is not gigantic, and I feel like the game was well and truly over at this point in the last game, as Delight Tempered Fate, but it just buys a little bit of time, make sure that this tower doesn't go down, as Rift Herald will be secured here by HLE.
They're doing stuff. They're getting stuff done. They're making stuff happen. They haven't completely flopped yet. So just keep the momentum up, and maybe HLE make a mistake and you really find a way to take over this game. You have strong scaling carries, but I am tentative because I still feel like despite the fact Nongshim are trying to make things happen, they have been on the back foot generally so far the past 5 or so minutes.
Zeka is going to miss a few buttons, but still is just unanswered as far as that aggression is concerned. Peanut, can we find the ulti? The answer is no, and Calyx actually uses it as an opportunity to pick up Zeka. Now Lahen's making his way over, and the Sand Soldiers making short work of the Yone, making him look silly. That was a sick play from Calyx.
So well played there. Calyx circumventing the engage and chaining it around. Viper taking a good amount of damage there. The only hunt comes through, but won't really be hunting anything there.
Nope. Just going to be drinking a little bit more as he makes his way out, keeping that health bar up. As Kean with a Glacial Prison picked up for himself with that hijack. Feeling pretty good about that one, but might be wearing off relatively soon.
Honestly, would I like to see him hijack the bottle for when the Rift Herald is thrown down.
Oh,
that would have been big.
Very good idea. Might have an opportunity to do so as well, as he's thrown out the ulti now for some wave clear. Of course, does a fair bit more damage when you do have all of that extra AP scaling that a Silas does get.
There's a good sidestep there, and then here, managing to dodge away from the ult. Peanut's ult's not super consistent so far this game, and the back from the hands comes in. And the damage is just there.
Yeah, really cleanly done there by Calyx. WEQ up and manages to lock down the Yone very, very nicely. Still HLE in the lead by just a little bit. They've also got the first 2 Drakes. It's going to be pretty comfortable as Gideon with a bit of a chomp. And now Trigger could be in trouble. There's the knock-up onto Lahen's. He has Eclipse, but oh dear, they are preparing the Sivir for afterwards. The equalizer comes down. Killer Instinct here from Viper, who really wants to confirm a kill in this fight. Equalizers are everywhere right now as the Void Seeker comes on through, and Zeus, yeah, he's just a walking flamethrower. And even Shelly is getting involved here as Peanut chasing after Lehens. Oh no! That's how he kills his former teammate. And they are going to look for Soul Point as well. Kingen is done with this. He's going to look to push in mid, and will be able to taxi his way out with that Raptor camp. But yeah, they're taking Dragon, they're pushing mid, and they're pushing bot lane as Peanut cannot land an ult to save his life. Another Emperor's Divide going to hit too, but this time the Pigeon Man is going to go down. Peanut just one more and he's going to be dead as Kingen and Viper are fighting. Viper now looking for one more Void Seeker. Wants to be able to destroy this turret and should be able to do so because Kingen cannot walk up, and there it is. And Zeka in the meantime, while all of this was happening, was just on this Drake.
Yep, Zeka fixing the Drake, rest of the team just trying to find kills. Peanut not being super clean with his ults so far, but doesn't really matter at the end of the day. This play, you know, Nongshim step up pretty aggressively, and immediately Trigger has to flash, Lehens is going to sacrifice, the ult comes down, throw out the Civet, and he just ends up trapped on that equalizer. Slow, taking tons of damage, Viper pushes forwards to punish. And this slow chase, you know what's the best part? Right at the end, the Pingu.
Oh, yeah, well, let's wait for it.
There we go.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's Peanut. Misses every ult all game. Look at this one. Another example. It was a 1-for-1 in the end, so this is actually kind of fine for Nongshim. Peanut's just trying to make that one happen. This does not quite work. I don't know whether, like, did Zeus kill Gideon in the end? No, he's not able to because Subjugate was still there. Gives him all of that health back. But honestly, that was Peanut's first death. And Viper is 5-0, so it's fine. 2,000 gold in the lead for the Kai'Sa.
Viper's very strong right now.
He is. Yeah. Viper has been pretty good so far this season. I'm not even
you know what?
apprehensive to say it.
I think Viper's been pretty good generally in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's probably also a worthwhile thing to say.
Yeah. Pretty solid. And now 5-0.
2019 until now, Viper has been pretty good at least.
Home of the bold statements, the LCK. We do like to make them every now and then. Daring today, we're feeling.
Exactly. That's what the Caster Blanc is all about. It's about making the big calls.
Yes.
Okay. Once we're here, we just feel like we have way less fear.
We're so emboldened.
Emboldened by the Caster Blanc.
Yeah.
I've written it down on the little, you know how we've got the little tape?
Oh yeah, the little tape.
Where we are, and so it just says Caster Blanc on it. So I know where I am at all times.
It's been defined.
Yeah.
I mean, it never said anything else before that, so it didn't have a name.
Exactly. It was just like a bit of green tape, and now it is the Caster Blanc.
I'm glad we
feels great to
establish this more. You know.
Yeah. We've been doing a lot of that. I like this more than the tempo vibes. It makes me feel less dumb, even if it is possibly more dumb. You know?
You know, I always, sometimes I do worry a little bit.
Yeah.
What the rest of our team think about us. We go.
They'll probably let us know. They liked the tempo vibes though when that came through, so that helped my confidence.
Well, I feel
like the Caster Blanc could be great. I saw Digon write in chat, Caster Blanc in all caps. I don't know what necessarily that means. But it might mean that this Otacon is going to get started from HLE and could be a dangerous time. Lehens, the Eclipse is on cooldown. The Equalizer actually to break up the fight here as Zeka was looking for a bit of an angle. Doesn't quite get there. It's going to be a 50-50 as Trigger not going to get hit by that one. And it's the Brad that unseals the spellbook to get the Smite. Oh! Divide sweeps up two immediately. They do take down the Azir to punish him for that sick play, but it's still a big one. And what goes out must come back. As it's the Silas that takes down the Yone, and grats on the Otacon, but everyone is face first in the mud.
Calyx with a sick shuffle to punish HLE get the objective, but Calyx is insistent that the fight goes to them. Viper, the only one to survive, 7-0. He is putting the team on his back, but it was not enough in this team fight. We'll see the replay here, so the double smite comes through, and that is enough to secure them this. But Calyx finds this beautiful angle, catches every single member apart from Viper. They look for him afterwards, he repositions with the ult. Zeka, nothing he can do for this situation. And again, it really does just feel like it's Viper versus the world. And Calyx kind of destroyed
all of that money just spewing out of HLE as he went for that play. Absolutely massive stuff here for Calyx. The immediate arm guard purchase there as well to mean that next time he makes that play, he would not even die.
We're 400 gold apart.
Oh.
Think how doomed last game was at this point.
Exactly. And as soon as it became a situation where we were on the caster block, that's when we had a game on our hands, and it is well and truly there. See whether Nongshim can fight for this dragon. It is Cloud Soul point for HLE. They lock this down. They're going to be running real fast as Kingen finds an equalizer. The flash forward, another ulti goes to Narnia, but the ult's there from Zeka to lock down Calyx, and this time the Emperor's Divide divides by 0, and it does absolutely nothing. Cosmic Binding is a flash there from Delight. He tries to get himself out of the play, but now it's the Viper show as he dives on top of everyone, gets the triple, and there's the follow-up. Quadra kill for Viper, and maybe it's just as over as game 1.
Viper just refuses to lose. He's putting this game on his back. Delight comes in with a clutch ult as well on the Calyx, but man, this Kai'Sa can do no wrong. See from the replay, they start this initial engage. The ult comes out, it's pretty big. Zeka finds his angle onto Calyx. So much pressure forced onto him, and then this ult catches him out. He has to stasis on the back of this to buy time. Delight goes in aggressive and then skirts away, but Viper's just ready. He even uses the gate to dodge the stun from Lahenza. That was so sick, actually.
The W flash into instantly killing Trigger as well before he could even react. 11-0-2 now. Yeah, and like, we had like the most obvious POM vote last time around where Viper's like, well, I've got this. I feel like this is the same vibe as those games.
That gate was insane. That gate, honestly,
I mean, that was ridiculous, but like, this is just Viper saying, guys, we are second place. We win these easily. What are you doing? And Peanut's like, I'm going to throw another ultimate to Narnia. Is kind of what they're doing. 3,000 gold, now the lead for Viper though, and it is becoming more and more difficult. This is only a 3,000 gold lead at 25 minutes though. It could be worse. Could be game 1. That I guess we agreed not to talk about. And Trigger is going to land the spell shield. Nicely done. Going to be tagged by the Void Seeker. But HLE just getting more and more control of the map. And as you can see, they just make things dark. And Calyx once again, unfortunately, having to use the Emperor's Divide just because Zeka decided to look at him.
That's enough. You know, they put the pressure on Calyx. He does have TP, but it's going to be gone before he can get back on the map.
Yeah. There's not even Smite for Delight this time. In fact, no one really needs Smite. Viper is just going to take it. He's got 3.5 items, and the Red Bull Baron power play starts now as Nongshim, oh dear, their lunch money just kind of getting taken away. As the equalizer on the minion wave is an interesting choice. I think HLE looking for a bit of a reset before they do go for their Baron push, but instead, I think maybe they're considering just winning. An ultimate landed here from Peanut as Kingen. Just no chance to throw one back, and the Silas will just be torn from this plane. Zeka also splitting on that top side, and HLE, oh man, when we had a game on our hands like a second ago, and I know Chronicler told me that curses aren't real, but I felt like maybe I'm responsible. Maybe that was a curse.
There is something I want to bring your attention to. I'm not sure we're gonna have much time left in the game. They're gonna blow open the base.
What is?
I did see it pop up when he built it, but I wasn't sure if it was legit.
All right.
Let's continue with what's happening on screen.
Okay, Lahenz is dead. There is the Fate sealed as well, collecting 2. The Fate, the Tempered Fate, gonna hold them all together as Calyx trying to get himself out, but Trigger, no way to do so. And HLE, I think they're just gonna follow this next minion wave into the base, unless, no, there is a teleport back here. Delight bringing a redemption in. As there are teleports, in fact, coming from everywhere.
It's the same play, the recall TP redemption to heal up on the final push.
And they turned the equalizer into a 7. That was kind of cool on the ground there as Calyx, oh dear, going for the play, does manage to find the rumble, but he immediately dies. You blink and you miss it. As there's the knock-up onto Kingen as well. Permafrost not going to come on through there as, yeah, Viper is going to be taken out. Zeka now looking to try and find something back, but they're very tanky, is Lahenz and Gideon. Maybe not anymore now that the Eclipse is down, but then it comes back up again.
It goes up soon.
All right. Well, I don't think Lahenz is going to be killing Zeka at any point, and Trigger is going to respawn. So the game will continue. You get to talk about that thing that popped up.
That's good, because now we have time to discuss something in...
Well, Gideon,
yeah,
dead.
not that.
He went into his own kennel.
Look, I'm gonna be real. I don't know if this is a thing. I don't know if this is something I've missed. But what is it? What is in Kingan's inventory?
Oh, I haven't looked.
Okay, we'll get to see after this.
No.
Yeah, he just kind of gets exploded here.
Yes. Peanut nailed the ulti though. His accuracy has been phenomenal in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, a little bit of an overstep. We kind of get him just shredding down, doing a lot of damage here. It looked like the play was going to be over. The bottled, missed time on the stun there from Delight, and a little bit of an overstep. The Redemption heal not doing as much as maybe they'd hoped to. And yeah, Nongshim honestly doing a decent job of holding off and keeping the game alive.
Yeah.
Once again, Calyx with a hero play.
Yeah, he's making some big plays. Honestly, this Azir's been very good out of Calyx in this game, despite the fact that they are losing very considerably.
Okay, now you're gonna have a look.
Well, sometimes just want a Manamune. Another ulti going to connect there onto Lehens this time around. Azeka's going to look to finish that one off. The Fate Sealed comes on through, but his target, I think, was dead before he even made it over there. The Rumble grabs the double. Viper's going to finish off the Silas. We'll never see the Manamune value as Calyx once again finding an ulti. This time the Brad going to go down, but not before throwing out the Tempered Fate and setting it up for Viper to knock it down. Only Lehens left alive as HLE will complete the 2-0 and look a whole lot better than their first week. I think getting some good night's sleep has certainly helped out as they've moved to the second week of this round. HLE looking scary here today.
I think there's a lot of discussion about HLE. You know, it looked clear from the level of form that Gen G and T1 really were the top two